Hey there guys, Tom here. Welcome back to my movie channel and thank you very much for joining me for this, my review of the brand new Star Wars movie, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. This is my friend Ali. We saw the movie last night, and if you have not been here before, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so that you never miss out on my take on all things movies. Now, just to preface this, I said this in my non-spoiler, no matter what your opinion on this movie is, I know it's been very mixed reaction to this film. People are hating it, and then there are some people that are loving it. Just try and keep the comment section, respectful and have civilized discussion, because otherwise I'm just gonna kick you the fuck out. All right, let's talk about Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Spoilers, obviously. So if you haven't seen the movie, I don't know what you're doing here, but come back after you've seen the movie and join us for this discussion. Or if you don't care about spoilers, then that's fine, but see the movie first, because it's awesome. I'll let you start what you thought about the movie, just overall.
Okay, overall, enjoyed it. Had a good time. I'm one of those strange people, I'm sure some of you think, who really liked The Last Jedi and wanted...
You're a fucking weirdo.
who wanted to see a lot of those themes and plot points, revisited in this new one. I will say I didn't get my wish in a lot of ways, but I think it's better to judge a movie on what it gives you rather than what it doesn't. So... That's just on what it gives you.
That's the biggest mistake people make, is they go into Star Wars or like MCU movies with a checklist.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I want to see this happen and this happen and this happen, and if it doesn't, then I'm going to hate the movie. It's like, no, just judge it for what it is, not for what you wanted it to be. But sorry,
yeah.
you were saying.
You're right.
Yeah.
And we've had this discussion so many times,
yeah.
But I feel like, people still do it and it's infuriating to me. But, yeah, and there were things that I knew about the movie where I was like, I don't want to see that. So like Palpatine coming back, I was a huge skeptic. I was like, how can they make this work? It's going to be, really silly. It's going to undercut, things that have happened in previous movies and in series.
It's going to undo the Vader redemption thing. It never did.
Look, we can argue all day about that, but that's not a review for Rise of Skywalker, is it?
Well, it is, because it is Palpatine.
I know.
So we can talk about that, because I'm just going to go there, because the thing is, Vader did bring balance to the Force. There was balance in the Force for decades. There was like 30 years. And just because Palpatine came back, Vader still turned good. Yeah,
of course. But I just mean that... the climactic ending, this, huge wash of relief that comes over, him destroying Palpatine, I think it becomes less impactful when you realize he didn't.
I don't, because at some point a new bad guy was going to come by anyway.
It didn't have to be Palpatine. That was my main thing.
It didn't have to be Palpatine, no.
I just didn't want more Palpatine. Even though Ian McDiarmid is a great actor and he brings it in this movie, like... Every movie of Star Wars that he's in, he hams it up more each time, and I love it. He just goes
Revenge of the Sith was like... Oh, actually, I think he was more hammed up in this than Revenge of the Sith.
And that's saying something.
Here's the thing, though, with this trilogy, before we get into specifics about the movie, this sequel trilogy, Lucasfilm had no plan. They didn't... Yeah. When they started Force Awakens, they didn't know where they were going to end, and it's so clear. Watching Rise of Skywalker, you're like, yeah, they didn't know where they were going. I'm sure JJ knew exactly where he was going to end it when he started Force Awakens. I know he didn't know he was going to direct 9, but he said, like, he had ideas. He knew where he thought it should go, and he's maintained that this is where he thought it should go always from the beginning. But Lucasfilm as a company had no plan. It was, hey, JJ, what do you want to do? Oh, you can do that. Okay, Rian Johnson, what do you want to do? Oh, you're going to do that. Go for it. Then we had 2 movies of setup, basically.
Yeah.
And then we get this third movie, which, as fun as I had, there's a lot crammed into it.
Oh, yeah. Like, it felt like...
It's 2 movies in one.
This is probably not... because I know you're not a massive Harry Potter fan, but I remember reading...
I like the movies.
I remember reading Deathly Hallows, the last book, and this felt very like that in that, the creators have obviously jammed a lot of plot into this that needed to breathe in like the other films. that they needed to set up a bit more. Like, you've got some great stuff with Poe in this movie that is never brought up at all in the previous 2 films about that character. And I really think that they could have...
Because Rian Johnson ruined JJ's plan.
And I think that he could have benefited from that, because Oscar Isaac's a great actor. And
I love Poe in this movie, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Poe in this movie.
I like everyone in this movie. I think that the cast, putting that trio back together is like a big strength for this movie, because they all have really good chemistry.
Do you know what I saw was some criticism that it disappointed them on that level because the trio just argued the entire time, and I was worried about that when I heard that criticism. It worked because like friends don't always get along. It's like they're going to argue, and they were arguing about really important stuff.
Yeah.
Like life-changing, dangerous stuff. So I get it. And I think ultimately it helped at the end of the movie when everybody wins. Spoiler alert, the good guys win, which we all knew they would. But like it actually added more emotion to me because they had those struggles.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, I completely understand. But just returning to Palpatine. So obviously, as you know, he's a huge skeptic. I was a vocal skeptic to many people about how much I did not want Palpatine to return. But that said, when I saw the film and what they decided to do with him, even though I still, if I could live in some alternate universe where they didn't do that, I'd be fine. But because they did, Ian McDiarmid was great. The stuff he had with Kylo, I mean, obviously Adam Driver's fantastic.
The stuff with Kylo Ren, man, him and Kylo, I'm like, because I knew, I had a theory before the movie. I'm like, there's no way Kylo doesn't want to kill the Emperor.
Yeah.
Dark side, light side, no matter which side Kylo's on or where he ends up, Kylo wants to be the big man around town.
Yeah.
There's no way he's going to let the Emperor suddenly come back and threaten that. So even if he has to team up with the Emperor at some point to get what he needs, which is basically what he did, he's going to fucking kill him because he killed Snoke.
Yeah.
So
what do you think of the reveal that Palpatine literally made Snoke? Like, you see all those little Snoke clones in the vat.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to do a little bit of a tanty. The opening crawl fucking sucks.
Yeah.
The opening crawl, it's not what it was saying, it was how it was written. It sucks. It reads like the opening crawls that I wrote when I was 12, making my own Star Wars movies, which, by the way, are awful. Yeah. I'm really proud of them, but they're awful.
I want to see them.
Make no mistake about it.
I mean, the first line...
The dead speak.
It's so bad.
Like, yeah, the opening crawl sucks. It does, but it's 30 seconds of text. It doesn't matter. It's such a tiny... Like, if that's the biggest problem I have with this movie, then this movie turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
But I love... Look, there were theories going around that, what if Palpatine made Snoke? What if Palpatine was Snoke and he was reincarnated as Snoke or something like? And I was like, I don't like that idea, but it all depends on the execution of it. And look, everyone with all it makes me laugh because there are so many. We need to know more about Snoke. Where did Snoke come from? Why is he so powerful? I never really cared because in the original trilogy, when the Emperor showed up for the first time, no one cared where he came from. He was just there. Yeah. He was big and he was bad, and he deserved to die. But so I didn't care about Snoke. I really didn't. And so the fact that they just deal with it in one line, well, I killed Snoke. Well, I made Snoke, so fuck you. Like but I love seeing like the Snokes in the tanks and the attempts at, obviously the failed attempts at, or he's creating more Snokes. The question I have now is, how the hell did he do it?
I think there's the imagery in this movie, more so than any other Star Wars movie and any like comics of Star Wars I've read either, has a very horrific feel to it. And I mean that in the best way possible because those Snoke clones are, just as an isolated image, it's terrifying. And you've got the Emperor at the end of this giant, like almost like a hand or an arm.
When he came down at the end, like to talk to Rey, Oh my God, that was terrifying.
I was really into the direction they took with him, just from a design aspect. I really
Do you know
liked
what?
that.
That's what I love about this movie. This movie is so deep cut Star Wars. Like it is so deep cut nerd. Like I think more so than The Last Jedi, I think this is a movie that, like, if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan and you've played the video games and you've read the comics, this gave me some of the deep Star Wars lore stuff that I was hoping they would incorporate into this new trilogy that I've been waiting to see.
Yeah.
And they haven't really done it. There's been like little tiny things, but like with the Sith Wayfinders, that is like going back to Clone Wars and Rebels thing. When I first saw them, I was like, it's a holocron, is basically what it is. But I know they're two different things, but they're both triangles. So
And you had the healing as well.
and the healing thing, which, I mean, Jedi have always, I mean, Obi-Wan kind of did it to Luke in A New Hope.
Yeah.
When Luke got attacked by the Tusken Raiders, that's why Obi-Wan puts his hand on Luke's head, wakes him up, you know. But I love that they leaned into that, and I love that they leaned, and the evolution of the Force Skype thing from The Last Jedi, and which again, by the way, I'm going to do another rant here. JJ Abrams, say it with me, did not retcon The Last Jedi as The Last Jedi did not retcon The Force Awakens. I'm just putting that out there, so just before anyone says it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, this film takes place like a year or so after The Last Jedi. But it actually leans into all of what came before. That's what I love about this movie is it embraces the prequels, it embraces the original trilogy, and it embraces The Last Jedi as much as you might not want to embrace The Last Jedi. I embrace it because I love that movie. But when JJ said initially that this movie was going to tie all three trilogies together, I was like, okay. I trust JJ because I love The Force Awakens, but really, is it really going to tie three trilogies together? I don't know how you're going to do it. Well, honestly, and he said like Palpatine is the way that we were going to do it, and to me, it worked in all the right ways.
So I don't love JJ Abrams, and I know I've talked about that with a lot of people who agree with me and disagree with me. Like, I know you really like Force Awakens, and I do as well. I love
Force Awakens, yeah.
I think it's a really fun movie, even if it is by the numbers. But that's okay, because I have fun watching it.
But it had to be by the numbers.
I agree, but that's not the review we're talking.
No, true.
I love having it on in the background. I love tuning in because it's a really just a fun space romp.
It's so good.
Yeah, and I felt that same kind of breathless enthusiasm in this movie that I felt in The Force Awakens, even though this one is a lot faster, maybe a little more muddled. There's a lot of different places you have to be, whereas in The Force Awakens it was very linear.
This movie is what George Lucas always wanted. This movie is faster and more intense. But it is. Like, this movie does not give you a moment where you go, oh. You don't have that moment. And I've seen some people criticize it for that. I love that. I love that about it. It does not stop. It moves at a breakneck speed. I love that it started with Palpatine. And like, you don't really get an explanation as to how he survived.
It was
just
okay
like,
with that.
oh, I died. Like, he was like, I've died before. I love like the confidence behind that statement.
What I think, does anyone care about that kind of thing? Like,
oh, people care. I don't.
But because when I think about, say, Darth Maul, the man gets cut in half and falls down a well, pretty much.
But they did.
They bring him back. So.
But with Darth Maul, like, I mean, that was a TV show, so they had more time to explain it.
I'm just saying, like, you can go through some stuff and you can still survive in the Star Wars universe.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, getting thrown down a well by Darth Vader,
But like, how else were they going to explain it? Really, like, what was he going to like start telling me? Like, well, your grandfather threw me down a shaft, and I fell and I survived, and there was a ship at the bottom of the shaft, and I ended up here on this planet.
It's stupid, and no one cares. Like,
but
nobody
I didn't need a monologue that would have stopped the movie.
Yeah.
Put it in a comic book. Give me that in a comic book.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two kinds of Star Wars fans, being very broad here, but ones who need everything explained, and others who are like, you know what, I like a good fan wank.
A fan wank?
That's what it is. Like, you can just say, okay, he got here. We don't know how. Maybe I'll just have a theory. We can float it together. Let's have fun with it. I
like the idea that there are unanswered questions.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to mention the whole reference. Like he gives Kylo the line about the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities.
I love they
some considered to be unnatural.
All of they needed was a Darth Plagueis the Wise reference, and I would have been
Oh my god! Seriously, if he had, I'm not kidding you. If he had said to Kylo, "Did I ever tell you the tragedy of Darth Plagueis?" I would have lost my mind. I was already losing my mind. Like, look, I went in last night to Rise of Skywalker with nerd goggles on, not film critic goggles on. Maybe that was the wrong approach. Maybe if I went in with an objective point of view,
which doesn't exist,
but if I went in with film critic goggles on, I'd probably hate this movie.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
If I look at this movie as a Star Wars fan and as a nerd, I was sweating watching this movie. I loved it. It is my favorite movie of the Disney era of Star Wars.
Whoa.
I knew it the second I left the movie last night. I was a little afraid to say it.
Yeah.
I wanted to think about it. And I thought about it on my walk home from the theater. And by the time I was shooting my non-spoiler review, and I said it in that review too, I was like, yep, this is my favorite of the Disney era. Look, I can't put it above the original trilogy, because those are just too perfect.
They're your Bible.
Well, Star Wars as a whole is my Bible. I mean, I like the prequels. I like all of Star Wars is good Star Wars, right? Like, really.
It's like pizza. Even if it's bad pizza, it's still pizza.
Actually, I heard someone say that it's like, you know, if you're seeing a girl and she gives really bad blowjobs, you're probably still going back the next night. Like, you know, like a blowjob is a blowjob is a blowjob. Star Wars is Star Wars is Star Wars. And even people who hated The Last Jedi went back to see it 6 times.
That's true.
So, I mean...
And they're definitely showing up for this one.
Even though they're saying that Star Wars, Rian Johnson ruined Star Wars, when 2 years before that it was JJ Abrams ruined Star Wars. Lando Calrissian. Let's go.
Okay.
Lando.
So, I don't think Billy D. Williams was acting in this movie. I think he was just really excited to be there. And
you could tell.
It's infectious enthusiasm, and I was like, I don't care. I love it.
And I was really worried that he was gonna be in the movie just to be in the movie.
Yeah.
But I love that he served a purpose. And I don't know this, and I don't like what I'm gonna say. I think if Carrie Fisher hadn't have passed, I don't know that we get Lando in this movie. Because
I can see that.
I don't know that we do. I think because Luke Skywalker's dead. Now we have Leia who died, and by the way, I thought that was beautifully handled.
Oh yeah, and
you could tell it was clearly someone else acting that moment. That's why it was in shadow. But honestly, if you didn't know that this was shot post Carrie Fisher death, you wouldn't know.
I mean,
it didn't feel awkward to me. I knew it.
It felt a little awkward to me, but that's okay because I still think it was really beautifully done. And when Chewbacca breaks down upon hearing the news,
my god.
It was tough.
By the way, I know we're talking about Lando, but I love that. What's more to say? Like, Lando in this movie, man, I still don't like that he's wearing the same clothes he wore in Solo. I just think that's a little weird. But, you know, Lando, he can get away with anything.
And he's still sexy. I don't know what it is, but I've always found Lando very sexy. I thought it would be gone, but he's still sexy.
It's not. He's still smooth. Like, when he says, "Give my love to the princess," it was like, oh.
I was like, man.
Lando, give it to me, man. Like, I'm sweating.
He's just like, if she's down, I'm down. Like, I'm still there.
But I also love that, you know, he was like on that planet, was it Pisana, the desert?
Yeah.
That him and Luke were there. Like, so he's been around. And I honestly, like, I knew he was in the movie. I'd forgotten, once the movie started, I forgot about Lando being in the movie. So then when he popped up, I was like, it's Lando!
As soon as, faceless man in a crowd approaches him, I'm like, okay, that's Lando. But I still felt such a rush when he took that mask off.
I didn't immediately think it was Lando. Because the movie up until that point had been, well, we're gonna meet this guy, and then we're gonna meet that guy, and then we're gonna meet
Yeah.
that guy, and it was like, oh, okay. And then I thought Lando would like show up at the end in the Falcon or something. I didn't know. Carrie Fisher's scenes to me,
Yeah.
look, I was okay with recasting if they had to, because story comes first, and I understand that like everyone has a different opinion as to what the most respectful approach would have been. The fact that like this movie worked out in a way that JJ Abrams was not supposed to direct this film, Carrie Fisher had passed. If JJ Abrams hadn't have directed the movie, I don't know what they would have done, and I suspect that's why Colin Trevorrow had to bail on it, because they had different ideas about what to do with Leia.
Yeah.
And I love the way Leia was handled in this film. I
Yeah.
did. And let me ask you about this. Leia training Rey. How do you feel about that? Because I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it because there wasn't a lot of setup for what Leia was doing in terms of like force and training in those previous two films. Because again, this comes back to Lucasfilm not having a solid like through line or a plan for this trilogy.
I will say, even though they didn't have a solid through line, they did bring it home.
They brought it home. I agree.
Yeah.
But just because there wasn't much setup for Leia having having a lightsaber at any point.
Yes.
Like it came out of nowhere. But I love the kind of relationship, however brief it was, that was developed between Leia and Rey. Like it felt real, and I think because Carrie Fisher and Daisy Ridley did get along, and they really did have some chemistry, like
Yes.
in Force Awakens.
Yes, true. And I'm okay with it because, again, like in other extracurricular Star Wars material, it actually doesn't, like that flashback of Luke and Leia
Yeah.
training with lightsabers, and they de-aged Mark
Oh.
Hamill. Oh my,
I felt like I was looking really at.
it looked amazing,
Yeah.
dude. That blew my mind. That sick. I was like, oh, of course they're a mask. They're not going to show their face. And then when they opened the mask, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I thought
Man.
like he looked better than Carrie, but I think Carrie Fisher, just going by Rogue One and even this.
Well, they had the
like,
Rogue One model they could have used.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I just mean going by Rogue One and this with some of her scenes where she looked a bit different. Like something about Carrie Fisher, I don't think they get her face fully right when
No.
they do CGI on her. I think it's because like especially young her, flawless face, like no wrinkles, smooth, like it's harder to make that look real.
And that's why the DH stuff always looks weird, because it's so, when you're younger, it's so smooth and it's,
Yeah, so you'd think it would be easier, but I find the opposite, at least when I watch it. But that said, she's on, like you see that DH thing for like a second,
so
it doesn't
good.
matter.
But it's so good. And
They do a great job.
But I'm okay with her training, because I think in extra Star Wars material, like I think in some comics,
Yeah, she does.
Luke actually had started training her, and she stopped the training to lead the Resistance. Like that's why she gave it up. So that's why she was a Resistance general. So then when Rey at the beginning of the movie calls her master, I was like, oh, okay. And then when she goes and she gets Leia's lightsaber, whoa, man.
So this is going to sound odd, but I was a little disappointed that hers was also blue.
I thought it was going to be yellow. I thought that was going to be the yellow lightsaber.
I thought it would be green. Maybe it's just because I love green lightsabers.
Well, yeah, we know that, don't we? Inside joke.
It's not. But also it just felt like something that Leia would have, but that doesn't matter. It's more because I love visual contrast.
Yes.
That's really just an aesthetic thing. It's not a criticism.
I knew, well, look, Luke was going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
He was going to be in the movie. It's really obvious he had a wig on.
It's such a bad wig.
It's so bad. I'm watching it, I'm like, whoa, that's a
This
wig.
movie-
And it's such a fake, like, uneven beard.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
They had so much money they couldn't get him a better wig.
Yeah, I'm like, you're Disney with all the resources you have behind you, and what the hell is that?
Yeah.
It's the Luke that people were expecting in The Last Jedi. And I like what they did with Luke in Last Jedi, but this was quintessential Luke training Rey that we've always wanted to see. Rey Palpatine.
Rey Palpatine.
Go.
Okay, listen.
The hot takes are coming, people.
I've had a lot of, because I remember when Force Awakens came out, I had a lot of theories about where they would go with the Rey character.
Yeah.
And one of them, which I was very strong about, was that she would struggle with the dark side, as all of the protagonists do, but that she would have like a real turn or some kind of big turning point that would actually make you think she's going to do this.
Even in Force Awakens, though, like when she's fighting Kylo in the forest, she is always the one on the attack.
Yeah.
In Last Jedi as well, she is on the attack all the time.
Which is perfect for her character. She's like grown up, had to defend herself her whole life
Yes.
pretty much. So it's
Very
completely,
soon. Yeah,
it's completely in her character. It's just, I never thought that anyone, especially JJ, would actually make a big move like that. And of course she ends up, being the good guy at the end, of course.
I knew she wasn't going dark. I didn't think there was a
love
chance
that
she
they
was going
made
dark.
it, actually alluring. They did it the same in Last Jedi as well. They actually made her like that a possibility that I never felt was real in Star Wars before. Because they made a really good case for the dark side.
They did. I mean, Palpatine makes a good man. He's turned so many people
Yeah.
And here's the thing with Rey though. To me, like, look, when Kylo first said it, it was done so casually. Like, it wasn't. I thought if they were gonna do a big reveal with Rey about her parentage, it was gonna be like a Darth Vader, I am your father moment, right? It was gonna be a right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't played like that. It was just like, you're a Palpatine. And she has that reaction, but me I went, what the and look, I said it from Force Awakens. I've said it the entire time. Rey doesn't have to be anybody to be as powerful as she is.
Exactly. Anakin wasn't anybody.
None of the Jedi were anybody until they were Jedi.
Yeah.
They were born, they had the Force. Some had more midichlorians than others, but they were all born, had the Force trained to become Jedi. Rey didn't have to be anybody.
Yeah.
And I'd be perfectly fine if she was nobody and still defeated the Emperor. I'd be totally okay with it.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't love that she's a Palpatine. I don't love it. I'm not against it.
I thought I would be against it, but
If you just hear that theory, like I heard that theory like after Last Jedi or Force Awakens. Oh, she's a Palpatine, and I'm like, nah, that's bullshit. I was like, that's stupid. And I don't love it. I don't hate it either, and I came to accept it as the movie went on.
Yeah.
That this was happening, whether I liked it or not, and to be honest with you, they made it work to me. They did.
There's something that they bring up in the movie a few times, and it's that the whole Rey remembers more than she says, that sort of thing. And I really wish that could have been expanded upon, because I don't know what I wanted exactly, but it felt like they needed to have a little fill-in of that to me, like some kind of deleted scene.
I don't know. I think it's probably because she always knew.
Yeah.
I think it's very implied that she always knew where she came from. She always knew who her parents were. And
But doesn't that undercut some of the emotional stuff in Last Jedi?
I don't know.
I just think it does, but maybe I need to watch them all in succession to really
But I do like the fact that it doesn't, from a certain point of view, because I thought about this last night, I was a little confused, because her parents were nobodies.
Yeah, but
her father was the son of Palpatine.
Yeah, so how can he be nobody?
But whether he was but I think what nobody refers to is, I don't think her dad had the Force.
Yeah, probably
because not everyone. So I reckon Palpatine had a son. I don't know when he had a son.
I mean, look, the dude was the emperor of the whole galaxy. I'm sure he had.
He was probably on the Death
brought to him.
Star. He was probably in the throne room. Bring me that Twi'lek over there. Like, ugh, right?
Yeah, I don't want to think about it, but it's probably what happened.
Oh, baby. Right? Yeah, hashtag Palpatine porn. So, yeah, like, look, porn patine. Her parents were nobodies, technically. Even though they were a Palpatine.
Can I just mention something?
Yes.
This is purely for the media, not media, but TV enthusiasts out there. So her mother in this is played by Jodie Comer, who is an incredible actress.
I recognised her. Where do I know her from?
She's going to be in some new movie. I've forgotten the name of it, but she's also in Killing Eve, which is a kind of a spy dramedy thing. It's really entertaining. She's incredible in it, and if you haven't seen it yet, you should watch it just for her.
Second. But do you know what? Like the way she screamed and the way she acted, like she sounded like Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, well, they're both English.
I know, but like,
I know what you mean.
But I think she intentionally played it to be like a Daisy Ridley.
She's very talented.
Yeah,
like
sure.
No, I will make you watch Killing Eve.
make me
She's
watch
really
it.
good.
Yeah.
But
That's the only way I watch anything. She makes me watch it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it, and
You know, you said yeah, I loved it like 3 times.
look,
We know.
deal with it. I loved it.
What do you think about the Raylo kiss? I just need to get it out there.
Okay, let's talk about the Raylo kiss. Let's get it out. Let's get it over with. Here's the thing with the Raylo kiss. Look, as for memes, I am all about Raylo. As far as memes go, for meme potential,
Yeah.
I'm with you there, because the memes are hilarious and they're great and I love them. I like Raylo not in the romantic sense, just in the sense that these two are forever connected, that it's never going to be broken. It's established right in The Force Awakens. It was like, these two have a connection, and I love that they expanded upon it in The Last Jedi. And then I love that even in this movie, like, Kylo keeps saying to her, there's no way you can break, like, you cannot get away from me. We are connected. Look, the kiss, here's the thing. I don't think it was a, I am in love with you kiss. I think it was a, oh my God, I'm so glad that you made the right decision. I'm so glad that you helped. Thank you for saving my life.
Yeah.
Goodbye kiss. I don't think it was a, oh my God, Ben Solo, you're so hot, take your shirt off again. Like, I didn't see it that way.
Okay.
And if JJ Abrams were to come out and go, hey, yes, Rey's in love with Ben Solo. She's not in love with Kylo Ren. She's in love with Ben Solo.
Look, yeah, I
could buy that.
I am getting more and more comfortable with the idea. I think it's just because I never shipped them. I always wanted, like, if anything, I wanted Rey to be with Poe, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you there. Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Poe's hot.
Poe's hot. And I'd kiss him. And this is, by the way, can I just say this? This movie, I put this on Twitter last night. This is the horniest Star Wars movie. If that was, I didn't see that in any of the reactions that were coming out, the other reactions. But like, if Lucasfilm ends up watching this for some ungodly reason, and you want a quote to put on the box art for the Blu-ray, that's the quote. Because really, like, the amount of people that wanted to bang in this movie.
Yeah.
Poe and Zori, you had Rey kissing Kylo, you had Maz frothing at the mouth over Chewbacca.
Always.
You had the British Lady General kissing the other Lady General.
Yeah.
At the end.
That first scene with Poe and Rey, there's some chemistry there. They want to fuck, just a little bit.
Well,
they do.
I mean, yeah.
I'm choosing to read it like that.
You can, sure. I'm sure Finn wanted some of that too, from either of them.
Finn does not get his dues throughout these movies. Can I just say that? I don't think he gets enough.
I don't agree with that.
Really?
No, I agree with that in The Last Jedi. I'm with you.
Yes.
1000% he was misused in that movie. I really like where Finn was at in this movie.
Oh no, yeah, I actually agree with that. I just mean as an overall story arc that he gets, I don't think he has enough. This is mostly, I think, a Last Jedi complaint. I know a lot of people have said this, but because he doesn't have that middle bit where he goes from coward to hero, like, properly, this movie just comes, like, almost at the end of his character development for me.
But Last Jedi and Force Awakens are like 2 days as far as in-universe time. And this movie jumps ahead of time. So,
I mean, that's another criticism I have of The Last Jedi. Should I just say it should have taken place a little...
No, it shouldn't have.
I think
it shouldn't have. Because at the end of there's no way you can start Last Jedi and skip over Rey handing Luke that lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
To me, there is no way, no matter whether you are happy or not with him tossing it over his shoulder, which I loved, by the way.
That was great.
There's no way you can skip over that. That's like, it had to pick up there.
You get a good callback to that in Rise of Skywalker.
I loved it when he catches it.
Yeah.
And he's like, a Jedi's weapon, isn't it? And he gives like the Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan said it to Anakin, this weapon is your life. Like, it's... By the way, speaking of Obi-Wan Kenobi and every other Jedi in history...
Yes, you forgot to do it.
The whole, like, we're with you, Rey. Look, I thought... I would have put money on it, that Hayden Christensen or Ewan McGregor were going to show up as Force Ghosts.
Yeah, same.
Right? They didn't. But the callback to Force Awakens, this is how I know it was always in JJ's plan to bring back Palpatine. JJ knew where he was going. Lucasfilm didn't. JJ did. Ewan McGregor comes back as the voice, and he says these are her last steps. Because in The Force Awakens, these are your first steps. Then you had Mace Windu voice. You had Hayden Christensen. You
my
had
boy.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
As Kanan,
which I
holy
didn't pick up on until I read the credits, and I was like, oh, that was Kanan, because I heard the voice. I'm like, I know it from somewhere. Where do I know that? Who's that voice?
Yeah.
You had Yoda, obviously. Then you had like Ayla Secura or whatever her name is. You had a bunch of like prequel Jedi.
Yeah, which is wicked.
Well, Sam Jackson finally got his wish, I guess. He's technically in the movie. Qui-Gon was the other one.
Oh, yeah, Liam
Neeson. I loved it.
It was, okay, so from a purely like just, film critic perspective, it's cheesy as hell, in my opinion.
It's so cheesy.
But you know what? These movies have earned some cheese every so often.
This entire film is nothing but cheese.
I love it.
It's so cheesy. Like, if someone said to me, describe The Rise of Skywalker in 2 words, it'd be cheesy and horny. The 2 words I use to describe this movie.
Yeah.
Look, okay, let's talk about the Rey defeating Palpatine thing at the end. I loved it. The way he's like, it shows Palpatine's ridiculously powerful.
Yeah.
He's stupid powerful, and I love by the way, that it confirms a little theory that's never really been confirmed. That he always looked the way he looked in Return of the Jedi, and the way he looked in the prequels was dark side mask.
Yeah.
I
thought that was confirmed.
I don't know if it was confirmed in any other like comic books or anything, but this movie certainly puts a stamp on it.
Yeah, maybe I just always assumed it, but
because that's what when he first showed up in that first scene, I was like, why doesn't he have the wrinkles and the scrotum looking face? And I was like, okay. What did the Death Star do to him, right? But then when like Rey's like attacking and it's like, or he comes back into full power and it transforms. That was the moment I was like, whoa, Palpatine is back, yo.
So that first scene actually, because it
was weird.
Because
scene.
it's a weird scene, but
I loved it, but it was a weird scene.
Everything with Palpatine in this movie is an
weird.
absolute horror movie. And that's
terrifying.
what I love about it. But I know I've talked about this before, but that first scene with him, we got like the flashing lights and he kind of like, they're obviously different takes and he's close together and then he's far apart. I was like, that's so well done. He really brings it home, the tone.
When he like just fully explodes with Sith lightning.
Yeah.
By the way, can I ask you something? I was going to ask you this before. Were you at all convinced that they actually killed Chewbacca?
No, because like this is just basic.
I wasn't, because I'd seen the trailers. But the thing is, as soon as I sat down to watch the movie, I forgot about everything I'd seen in the trailers.
I generally try to avoid trailers. I don't watch them multiple times or anything. So like I didn't really remember the trailers.
Okay.
But so that happens, I'm like, oh, that's that because her reaction to it is so well acted.
They do a good job of making you believe it. Like they really do a good job of selling it.
It's just that if a character doesn't die on screen, like actually, you know, gets their head cut off or something, I don't believe they're dead.
No.
Because look at what happened with Palpatine.
Yeah, true. I do like that they were trying to sell it so hard.
Yeah.
They were almost trying to sell it too hard that I'm like, nah, Chewie's not dead.
Yeah.
And I said at one point, I leaned across to our friend Ben at one point and I said, if they kill Chewbacca, I'm leaving.
I heard you.
I would have left. I'm not lying. I would have left. I would have screamed into a pillow. I would have come back the next day and finished the movie.
Wow.
Because you don't kill Chewbacca. You do not kill. By the way, let's talk about C-3PO.
So good.
3PO, look, I've never been the biggest 3PO fan. He's always annoyed me. I'm going to be honest right now. Hot take. 3PO annoyed me way more than Jar Jar Binks ever did.
Yeah. Okay. We've talked, like, I know you've
you and I have
talked
had
to me about
conversations.
this, but
I haven't said that on camera. And I can't wait for the comments. Bring it on, people. 3PO, he's had moments like that I've liked.
Yeah.
I've always found him irritating. I don't know why people love him so much. I love him in this movie. I love what they did. And Babu Frick is the name of the little tiny creature.
Oh, excellent.
Oh my God, that character, man. Give me Babu Frick. I want a Disney Plus show with Babu Frick, Baby Yoda, and Baby Groot. And Keanu Reeves. Give me that Disney Plus show.
That's a weird thing to want.
And a porg.
What about a little Dio or something?
Dio. Oh my God, and he's voiced by JJ Abrams.
Oh, go him.
I read it in the credits.
Yeah.
Because I read the credits. Yeah, I loved it. I
Yeah.
love that character, man. I love that character.
Bobby Frick, he got a laugh out of me every time, and he only says like 2 words, like,
The droid is ready. And then when he laughs like Palpatine.
yeah.
He laughs like a mini Palpatine. I love that. And he's on the ship when Zori
Yeah.
comes into the battle at the end. By the way, when that battle at the end, when you hear Lando over the comms, when he's like, oh, not as fast as this ship, baby.
Oh.
Like, oh man.
You just like, okay, so this is going all the way back to
Can
Solo.
we when we're done here, can we go watch it?
Yeah. Let's do it. We're going to rewatch it.
Can we actually watch it? Like, please?
Yeah, we can go watch it again. I don't care. Let's do it. But anyway, so I'm glad that you brought up the Lando thing. So, okay, so first of all, this goes back to Solo.
Yes.
I really feel like, Lando wanted to have sex with L3. And second, he still wants to have sex with it. Like, he wants to fuck that ship.
Lando would have sex with anything.
You know
Like,
what?
Lando-
I think he's actually has sex with the Falcon. I think
Lando
there's a hole in the Falcon.
would have sex with anything. Now, he promised Han not a scratch. He didn't say not a fluid.
But that's not what I was going
Han
to say.
Solo didn't go through the Millennium Falcon with a blue light. That's all I'm saying. He
But-
probably should have. By the way, Han Solo.
Oh, okay, comes back into memory in this. And what I love about it, okay, so
I was like, if we
someone
don't bring
pointed
that up,
this
we're
out.
dead.
Someone pointed this out online, and I think it's hilarious that
Yes.
that Han Solo never has like facial hair in the movies,
No.
except for this one scene, and they were just like, JJ could not convince him to shave for this, and it's like,
But he had
that's
a little
fine.
bit. He had a little bit of scruff at the beginning of Force Awakens too.
True, but this one is like a lot more, and
you know
that's
what?
just to see how he wears it.
Okay.
But he looks good like that.
I had a theory about that. Like, so honestly, when I don't know how. I do not know how they kept that secret.
Oh yeah,
I don't, and I have a little theory about that.
he dressed as a nun and like got into Disney that way. Like,
No, my theory is this: that was a scene that was cut from The Force Awakens that they reworked for this film.
I don't know if I can. I don't know.
I don't know if I'm not saying I'm willing to put $100 on that theory. I'm just saying, I don't know how the hell you keep that secret.
They've kept secrets before.
I know, but I mean, look, I loved it, honestly. I know that that's not going to work for some people because some people are going to be like, what? Han Solo had the Force? No, it's all happening in Kylo's. It's a Force.
It's his mind.
It's a Force-generated vision. Like, it's a
Yeah.
thing. But I just love that this movie, Han Solo, Leia, Lando, Luke, all in the same movie again, since Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That and Rey adopting the Skywalker name. Yep, I'm with you.
I'm with
I'm
you.
there.
Like, I kind of expected that to happen,
I'm
especially
there.
because they really hammered home in this movie that she doesn't have a last name. So I expected that.
Well, she does.
Well, she does now.
But like it was Palpatine.
But you know what I mean. She like didn't have a family name for so
No.
long, and she obviously was not going to
No,
accept
and why would you
Palpatine.
keep the Palpatine name?
That's
she goes into the Mos Eisley Cantina like, oh, like, can I see your ID, please, Rey? It's like, your name's Palpatine. Get the hell out of my bar.
Yeah.
You know.
But okay, so you brought up that bit where Lando brings help and everything.
Yes.
I think that really summarizes, like codifies even, the different takes on Star Wars that JJ and Rian Johnson had.
I don't even want to start this discussion.
I don't
want to
mean
go there.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
Okay.
Because I just don't. Because you know how much I love Rian Johnson. You know how much
Yes.
I love The Last Jedi. But because he makes it very clear no one's coming because they're fucking terrified.
Yes.
Whereas in this, everyone comes. It's great. It's awesome. They cream him.
Everyone comes. I came. Everyone comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I did.
it felt, I want more time to really express this properly, but it really did feel like JJ wants the fan service, and that's okay. JJ wants
Fan service for this movie, to me, is not a dirty word. It
That's
can be
okay.
a dirty word. It's not.
It's not, that's fine. he's
Yeah.
he's a more optimistic
Yes.
filmmaker. He wants to make you feel good, and that's awesome. Rian Johnson wanted to do something with Star Wars.
Rian Johnson wanted to mess with your head
Yeah, which I loved.
in the best way. Yeah.
It was very different approaches to what was essentially the same situation.
Yes.
So I'm really interested to see what people think of that distinction.
But I will say this: it's a throwaway line, and most things explained in this movie are done with little throwaway. I made Snoke, like one line, done. We don't need to know anymore.
Yeah.
They make a big, because they meant, like Poe mentioned, like, you know, we sent out a call, no one came.
Yeah.
And then at the end when everybody turns up, and I think it was one of the generals on the First Order ship who said, like, I didn't know they had a fleet, and it was like, no, they're just people.
Yeah.
It's not like, so yeah, no one for the rebellion showed up at Crate.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the rebellion has allies and blah, 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 blah. These were just ragtag, ordinary civilians who turned up in their ships to fight.
Yeah.
It was just the people. You know, it wasn't an organized group of rebellion troops. It was just people. Good people will fight if we... Oh, the hairs on my arm are standing up.
I can see. Mine are too.
I'm getting chills because, look, this movie is going to be the most divisive Star Wars movie that's ever been. I seriously think it's going to be more divisive than Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Because the way the Star Wars fan base works is, oh, you made a movie? Oh, I don't like it. Oh, well, this guy made a movie that was worse than the last movie. Well, now I hate this movie more.
Yeah.
So now that Last Jedi is behind us and now we have a new movie to hate,
yeah,
people
suddenly
are gonna hate this.
Suddenly there'll be think pieces about what the Last Jedi did right.
Yeah,
and that sort of
it
thing.
was JJ ruined Star Wars. No, Ryan ruined Star Wars. Oh, JJ's coming back. JJ's going to save Star Wars from Ryan. Oh, JJ ruined Star Wars. Like, no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
I love Star Wars. I can't. I'm going to find out when we see it again. Was BB-8 with Rey at the end on Tatooine?
Yeah.
Was that okay?
That was BB-8.
I'm walking home and I'm like, I'm sure I saw BB-8 there.
Yeah.
Because I saw the suns and I was too busy looking at the twin suns and just like, because I was tearing up because I'm like, it's Tatooine and just looking at the suns and it was Luke Skywalker was standing there. And I'm like, I swear I saw BB-8, but I couldn't remember if it was, I was thinking of that or if I was thinking of in The Force Awakens where she's walking down through the desert with BB-8. No. So BB-8 was there, so yeah. Poe just let her take him?
Yeah, which, that was weird to me. I would have thought
so she's going to live there now, right?
Yeah, she's just going to dig out that igloo and just live there.
Okay.
Weird.
It's really weird because, like, you know, all the Skywalkers are buried there. Like, Shami's buried there, Owen and Beru are buried there.
Are they buried there or just burnt corpses under the sands?
Well, I mean, clearly someone cleaned it up because, they were just left there in A New Hope. We haven't seen that hut since A New Hope.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, they were just there.
That'd be quite disrespectful of Luke to not bury them. I think he probably buried...
He probably went back at some point and, you know, cleaned it up. First of all, The Rise of Skywalker, I wanted to touch on what that title means. I think it probably means that Rey adopted the name Skywalker and that's the name of it. I think it's also a reference to Ben Solo coming back.
Yeah.
Because he is technically a Skywalker. And, like, just as The Force Awakens wasn't just The Force Awakens in Rey, it was The Force Awakens in Kylo Ren. Because darkness rises and light to meet it. You know, that...
I mean, I think that Skywalker is definitely plural in this.
Yes,
and I think that, at least in terms of, like, visual language of how they present Kylo in this movie, like, he literally rises from, you know, the depths.
Yeah, it's just visual, you know,
and comes and saves it. It's the rise
But it's like at the end of The Force Awakens, it's a literal cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Luke is literally standing on the edge of a cliff and they cut to black. It's literally a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And Rey, with the yellow lights, ignite the yellow. But you notice she turned the staff into and that thing's double-bladed.
Yeah, for sure.
That
they
thing
didn't
is
show
double-bladed.
us, but...
That thing, she can extend that thing, it's double-bladed. She is going to kick ass.
I wish that we could see it. Because
You'll see it.
I wanted
I'm telling you right now, you might not get it next year, you might not get it the year after. There's going to be an episode 10.
Probably.
There's going to be 10, 11, and 12. It will not be the Skywalker saga.
It'll be Rey.
It'll be the Rey, even though she's a Skywalker.
Yeah.
You'll get a Disney Plus show. I don't know. There is no way Disney does not go, yeah, we're just going to not do... It's the same thing with the MCU. There's no way in hell Captain America is not coming back. There's no way in hell they're not bringing RDJ back. There is no way that's not happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
Rey, Poe, Finn, BB-8, Chewbacca, they're all coming back. They're gonna in a Disney Plus show, in a movie, it's happening.
Oh.
One more thing.
Okay. I got really enthusiastic.
This is going to be the longest review I've ever done. It's almost an hour.
Oh, Jesus. No, that tracks. So, this is my biggest thing. I had such an, oh my God, moment. Just pure joy when Mars hands Chewie the medal.
It was Leia's medal, I think. It was probably Leia's or Han's medal.
Yeah, but I don't mean just that. I mean, like, he never got a medal.
No, well, he did in a comic book.
It's not the same.
It is not the same, but it's all canon, so technically he already had a medal. She should have handed him 2 medals. But yeah, I'm with you. When he got the medal, that was a moment I was like, they didn't have to do it. It was nice.
It was nice.
It was sweet. But when he breaks down, man.
Oh, that was...
I mean, it killed me when he saw Han die and he screamed. And I'm like, oh, man. Because he loves Leia.
Yeah.
When he broke down. Oof, man. Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt real good.
It was like immediate tears sprung to my eyes. It wasn't like, a sudden like, oh, Leia's dead, I'm going through emotions. It was...
But again, it's not... I wasn't upset. I wasn't hurt by the fact that Leia died. Honestly, like, it didn't hit me on a real emotional level. Because
You'd accepted it.
I didn't know they were going to kill the character. I actually, if you had asked me before I'd seen it, I would have said, no, there's no way they kill the character. I get why they killed the character. And I think it was handled very well. But it's the reaction of Chewbacca that makes that hit hard. It's not the fact that Leia died.
Yeah, I think, and also you have to remember, Chewbacca has now lost all of his friends. Well, not like all
Lando's still around.
But you know what I mean.
Lando's still around.
He's lost his 3, best buddies.
He has. He's lost the 3 that started the journey with him. And
he's old. He's older than everyone as well. Most of the people
50 years old.
Most of the people he's known have died. And I just think a lot about this.
Yeah.
Poor Chewbacca.
Remember, he was friends with Yoda.
Yeah.
So
who's dead now?
Everyone Chewbacca loves dies. Why are we torturing Chewbacca, man? That is the biggest crime of all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Chewbacca. By the way, I love what they did. I love Chewbacca in this movie. I love what they did with him. That entire storyline. It was fantastic.
So many great character moments in this movie. Really, there's just everyone has like something where I'm like, that's them. That's really great.
Look, and this is, again, just to close this out, this is a movie that I totally can see how casual Star Wars fans, non-Star Wars fans, die-hard Star Wars fans, I can get why you could hate this film. I get it. I'm not, and if I like it's and I'm not like dying on a mountain here where it's like if you hate it, like there are some movies that people hate that I go, how the hell do you hate that? I don't. There's no way I can't see it.
Yeah.
This is a movie where I'm like, I love it. I absolutely love it. But no, I can't argue with you if you hate it. Yeah. I can totally see it. Because this movie is ridiculous in the best way. To me, in the best way possible. It is ridiculous. It is batshit crazy. And honestly, like from the first teaser trailer they dropped, I said it. I don't know if I said it to you, but I definitely said it myself. I said, JJ's going all in. This is going to be the most crazy Star Wars movie I've ever seen in my life. I knew it from that first trailer. I knew it from the second trailer. I knew it from all the TV spots that I saw that I didn't want to see, but I didn't have the testicular fortitude to not watch. I knew it, and I watched the movie and I'm like, this is the Star Wars movie I've been wanting to see forever. I love this movie. Come at me, comment section. I will shill for Disney on this. I love this movie. Say whatever you want about it. I don't care. Closing thoughts.
Okay, wow. Like, I know how much you love it, but wow. Yeah, so basically, feeling a lot of the same emotions. I remember when I rated it on Letterboxd, I gave it 3.5 stars. Not because, like...
I don't have a Letterboxd there. I should get one of those.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. But,
you can follow me on Twitter, though. Anyway, go on.
Great plug
Segue. Segue. At TillyGilly1. Go for it.
I gave it 3.5 stars. And I would still stick to that.
3.5 stars?
Because I really liked it, but there were definitely flaws in it. There were things I didn't love, but that's okay. That's okay because I enjoyed the hell out of this. At the end of the day, it's whether or not you actually enjoyed the movie. And I did. It was a great time. I loved, so many of the characters, came full circle. That's like some really great development in this. It was a great time.
Any flaws to me in this movie, and they'll probably stand out more upon second viewing. But any flaws to me are very minor, and I understand, I acknowledge that they're there. It's not a perfect film. It has flaws. To me, I enjoyed the movie so much that I almost don't care about
Yeah.
the flaws. Like, again, I don't have film critic goggles on. I have nerd sweaty goggles on, and I will forever be grateful to JJ Abrams for bringing this home for me.
Yeah.
Because he did it for me. Like, honestly, like, look, whatever you think about Disney's Star Wars trilogy, they could have done it better. They could have.
Yeah.
They had no plan. That's abundantly clear. I'm just grateful we have Star Wars movies. Whether George Lucas made them, whether Disney bought it and made them, I just love that we have Star Wars movies. We have a new trilogy that, to me, I've loved. I think you really enjoyed this entire trilogy as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this incredibly long spoilers discussion. I was like, yeah, it's going to be like 30 minutes. No, we'll go an hour. Who cares? Thank you very much for watching if you've made it this far. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that subscribe button, ring that notifications bell, and let me know in the comment section below what you thought of The Rise of Skywalker, good or bad. Bring it on. Let's hear what you thought about the movie. Thank you very much for joining me for the review. I owe you a lunch now, apparently. And I will see you guys next time. May the Force be with you always.